Burgess here with Music Marketing TV, and today we're going to be diving into SoundForge Pro 16. They've just released it, and there are some new features in there. I want to show you the recording feature. They've added a new way to do recording that I think is fantastic. And then I want to show you a couple other quick editing things that you can do that really make SoundForge a joy to work with, and why you might use it over working in another DAW. So normally when you're recording something, let's say you're recording, I'm specifically talking about a podcast or a script or something of that nature. SoundForge is actually it was like practically built for this. It's just fantastic at it. So normally when recording, you'll open up a new window. This would be like where you're going to record your sound. And we just want one channel because I'm recording a mono microphone. I'm going to click OK. It's going to open up this new sound. I've got prior sounds here. I'll just get rid of this one. And here's our new sound. This is what we're going to record. And you could just come down here and hit record, and it will record to this window. So I hit record, and you can see it's already recording my voice. It's fantastic. It's smooth. Away we go. I can hit stop. I can hit pause and start. But here's the problem. What if I have notes I want to look at while I'm doing this? I could have a second monitor with the notes, but now I have to have a second monitor. And if I do go to a separate page, I could potentially accidentally stop the recording. The recording might stop without me knowing about it. There could be issues with the recording itself. There's just a whole bunch of things that could happen. And so what they've added now is if you click this little external recording button up here, you get it minimized on the same screen. So let's say you're on the road, you got one screen, you're working with your laptop. This is an amazing way to do things. So first you can monitor your input. So if I record ARM and I can hear in my headphones my own voice, so if I want to make sure that there's no issues with the recording, I can do that. So if there's glitches or something, I can hit start recording. Now it's recording. I can look at my script. I'm confident that recording is going on and that levels are coming through. All those issues are like non-issues now. I don't have to be worried about having to go back and check to make sure the recording is, on. I can add a marker. So if I click, it's added a marker now. So when we go back, we'll see that. So let's say someone says a funny joke, or there's a part that's really interesting that I'd like to come back to in editing. It's really easy to just add a marker. And there's a whole bunch of other nifty features in here that we could go over. Like for example, I just paused it. Let's say I want to pick it up and I keep recording from where I was. I could hit record and it will keep picking up right from where I was. So let's go ahead and dive back into SoundForge. So to do that, you can hit back. And here is our recording. You can see the two markers from when I placed it. Maybe something interesting was said. And I'm able to just quickly edit this. So let's look at this. So I could come in here. I could take this window. And one of the first things you'll probably want to do is normalize it. I need to turn off the arm for recording there. And so we'll go up to processes and normalize. And so this is something else that is really nice that they've added. So there's a loudness normalization support for the broadcast standards. I'm just going to do peak level, but they've added some new metering stuff. That's really awesome. That's what's up here at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. It goes ahead and normalizes everything for me. I can come in, zoom in. I can place markers by hitting M. And away I go. So let me really quick show you a little bit with the marker workflow, because it's actually like extremely nice, especially if you're doing something like recording a sample library. So let's say we'll get a recording. This is a recording. This is take 1. This is take 2. This is take 3. All right. So let's say that this is my recording. I'm going to go ahead, come up again to process and normalize it. And we'll hit OK. Now let's say I'd like to split these up into separate things that I'm going to process. So you could come in, and if you hit M, you can place a marker. And then when you play, you could hit the number of the marker to go to it. So let's say I start playback from 3, 2, I'll hit 1. This is a recording. I'll hit 1 again. This is a recording. 3. This is take 2. And you're able to really quickly move around a project, which is fantastic if you're doing mastering. You've got all of your tracks, right, in one giant file, and you're going to export it for CD, which, by the way, this completely supports, what is it, DDP, I believe is it, the disk data protocol. It's like an acronym or something like that. It's made so that it works really nicely with CDs, and a lot of programs don't support its export. So if you want to do a CD master, you're going to need to export that so it'll play nice with all the different machines out there. So SoundForge can do that. But as you can see, we can move around really easily. Now let's say I want to batch export these and chop them up. Well, what I can do instead of placing markers manually is I can come over to the editing and say, hey, find the words for me. Now this does regions. Regions and markers are a bit different. A region has a starting and an ending point. A marker is just like a spot. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do word region. And I'm going to give it some silence because it wants to know what the silence is like. So I'll select an area that's got some silence, measure that. And then I'm going to come over here and the word distance is fine. We'll hit run. And you can see here, here's the start of word 1, the end of word 1, start of word 2, end of word 2. It's chopped it up really nicely, automatically for me. And if I look at my regions down here, I can like play them. So let's play like word 3. This is take 2. Now, I said something at the end that kind of threw it off, and there's a bit of noise. So it's not totally perfect, and you can fine tune it a bit, but I'll go ahead and trim up word 5 to be a little bit better. All right, which is the word all right at the end. This is take 3. This is a recording. And there you go. You're able to really quickly chop it up. There's also some great things that deal with how to get rid of the silence and a bunch of other nice things like batch exporting just these sections so that you can do something interesting with them. And a really nice way to produce just a whole bunch of recordings really easily as opposed to having to go in and do every single one individually. So I want to show you also, I think this is a bit better of an example for this. The track color. So they've added some new color features down here. So a wave color and a vocal activity color. And in fact, if I come back here, because that one doesn't have any vocal activity, if I go ahead and color this, it'll actually tell you when someone's talking in the words. It will differentiate it from music and those sorts of things. So it's mostly red. If I come over here to this is a flute sample session. It's just notes going up and up and up, and I can color the waveform. So if I click this, it's going to color it, and these colors will mean something. So these are the lower notes, these are the higher notes in this case, and you can see that represented with the color. If you come up to the options, where are you options, go to preferences, you can go to wave color. In wave color, you could change the color for the vocal activity and sort of what that looks like. But you can see up here wave color, I'm in classic right now, and it tells you how that colors the sound. So I could choose something different like black, white, pitch. And it says low pitch tones get black colors, medium, dark to gray. So it's going to change it according to the pitch of the sound. So if we hit apply, and then it recolors the wave automatically for me. And you can see lower pitch tones, higher pitch tones as we go up. So to wrap up here, I want to show you the dynamic EQ, but as a brief side mention, we've got a histogram now, and you can now easily work with broadcast standards, which is beautiful. You've got a phase correlation meter over here, so if you're doing stuff involving mastering, you can break stuff up with markers, process those different mark sections individually if you want to apply a process to them, and you can get all the information. Along with, if you're unfamiliar, this isn't new, but it's very handy. You can go to a generate loudness log, or you could also go to statistics. It'll generate all the statistics, and you can see this track is super, super loud based on the loudness information here. But this is very, very handy. It's super nice. So if we come back over here, they've added a loudness, a dynamic EQ. So a lot of times you want to process your voice, and they've got all these effects here. But in there is the dynamic EQ. So I'm going to go ahead. I want the mono version. That's fine. And one of the common things with your voice is a lot of times there's a particular S sound. My voice doesn't have this issue in this particular recording if we listen. This is a recording, but you can see it's actually turning down just that S sound. If I want to make that less aggressive, I could bring the threshold up and it will turn down less. This is a recording. This is where it triggers. So you could set at what point does it trigger and then how much it triggers by. Dynamic EQ is like this whole separate lesson, but it is really exciting to see a dynamic EQ make its way into here and is just available by default. If you like it and you like what it's doing, you can go ahead and hit OK and it will take that and render it out for you. And if you're unfamiliar with the dynamic EQ, there is a plethora of different, now a lot of this is music focused, a plethora of options when it comes to providing dynamic EQ. If you go down, even though the vocal ones probably aren't made for the voice, when it comes to just the spoken word, these are pretty nice. Just get a little bump. You might be a little bit more aggressive with removing some of this low end just by default. But you could come in, and they do have one for de-essing, which is one of the more common things, which is you've got a recording, but the person has a really a problematic tone, and you can go ahead, you could set a band and bring the threshold down and just sort of try and remove just that section of the voice. This is a recording like that, and you can clean it up without affecting the rest of the voice and having to turn the whole thing down or up. But anyways, that's a very quick overview of SoundForge, some of the possibilities that are now available to you, as well as just some legacy stuff that's really, really handy to know about. Might be a reason you'd open it up versus another program. If you have any questions about this, feel free to let me know, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for future videos, and have a blessed day.